Is it finally time to switch to using Codex? Don't get me wrong, Claude is really good at coding. But with its recent downtimes and its strict restrictions and rate limitings, some people are seriously considering to switch to Codex as an alternative. If you are one of those people, then this tutorial is going to be a good starting point. Hey everyone, Nariman here, welcome to my channel. As I said earlier, we want to explore some of the most important features of Codex, which is OpenAI's coding tool. Let's just start by running it inside the project. I'm assuming you already have a paid ChatGPT subscription and you already installed Codex on your personal computer. For example, if you have Mac, you can easily install it with Homebrew. So to run it, notice that I'm already inside one of my coding projects. I'm just gonna say Codex and hit enter. And the agent is up and running. Here you can basically ask about anything about this project or ask it to write code for you. For example, I can say, what is this project about? To get an overview on what is this project. So it will read your files and give you an overview. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is AGENTS.md file, which is basically a README for agents. Codex is going to load this file into context every time that it runs. So you should put some general conventions in there. So a good rule of thumb is if I want Codex to follow a set of rules every time that I'm asking something, these rules should go into agents.md file. A good example is your code conventions, your file formatting, how to do testing, how to write tests. These are very good candidates for agents.md file. One way to create it is to write the init command. So you say /init, and as you can see, it will create an agents.md file with instructions for Codex. So let's run this. So it's just drafting it itself. This will be our first draft, and then of course we can modify it and we can guide Codex to change it to fit our needs better. So as you can see, it created an agents.md file inside our project. I'm not going to go into the details, but of course you wouldn't accept the first draft for your use cases. You will change it better, but as I mentioned, there are like some code styles and naming conventions, how to build and test the project. So this one is created inside our project. We can also place it inside Codex's folder in our personal computer. So maybe let me switch the terminal. So if you are in your root folder in Mac, you know that there is going to be a .codex folder, which already has a set of file and folders that is being used by the Codex. You can go ahead and create an agents.md file here. For example, you can say touch.codex and then agents.md. And then you can modify this file and add your instructions here. And the difference would be, if it's inside the project, it will be only applied to that project itself. If it is in the Codex folder, it's going to be applied to all of your projects. So if it's more general, less project specific, put it here in this file. If not, then just put it inside your project's agents.md. Let's go back to our Codex session. And I mentioned that if you don't want Codex to load the rules every time, you shouldn't put it inside agents.md. But there are some cases that you want to extend the knowledge of Codex, so Codex can access it on demand. Let's say you have some workflows in your team or for your personal use. For example, how to create a ticket, how to create a GitHub issue, or how to create a PR. Or let's say you want to do something specific following certain steps, and you need to give these detailed instructions every time to Codex to do it, so it wouldn't be that efficient. This is where skills are very useful. So Codex uses skills just like Claude, and this is possible by creating a skill file, which is again a markdown file that will be created inside Codex's folder that I showed you. And there are, again, different ways to create it. The easiest one is asking Codex and prompting Codex to do that for you, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to say create a skill for Codex to detect uncommitted changes in the project, commit them, and create a PR. Call it GitHub PR Creator. So yeah, Codex can create its own skills. You just need to prompt it properly. You can see that it already has a skill creator workflow. And now it's asking where should I create it. Of course, you should put it inside Codex's folder in the subdirectory called the skills. So it will be auto-discovered by Codex agents. Okay, at the end, it's saying that I created the skill inside the skills folder, and you can see it's just a markdown file. So this is one way of creating skills files. The other way is you just can go there directly. So you can see that there is a skills folder here inside Codex's folder. You go ahead and create another subdirectory for your skill, and then inside that you put a skill.md file. You write all of your instructions there. Just to give you an overview, this is how a skill would look like. So there are some YAMLs here as header, what is the name and what is the description, and then basically just a markdown text on defining the workflow so the Codex knows how to do the task. That's it. The other important command that I want to talk about today is the plan mode. So sometimes you have very easy tasks, like this feature is not working, it's giving me this output, there is a bug, go and fix it. Not that complicated. Or write some unit test, something like that. But sometimes tasks are more complicated. The rule of thumb should be if the task is hard to describe, it is ambiguous, always use plan mode first and then start coding. Because when you are using plan mode, Codex is in read-only mode. It doesn't touch any files. It just discovers things by searching through the code base, and then it tries to clarify everything with you. It will ask follow-up questions, and then it will give you a written plan, very detailed plan, and then you will go through it. You understand what is going to be done. Then you will allow it to code, and things are a lot easier this way. So to do plan mode, you are just gonna type /plan, and then you are gonna describe what you want to do. For example, create a chatbot using LangChain and Ollama. And then you hit enter. It's gonna go through the code base. It's gonna ask you some questions, and then if everything is fine, you will allow it to code. I'm not gonna run it because it's gonna take a while, but I guess you got the idea. One other useful command is the goal command. So when you are prompting Codex, you are asking specific things, and Codex is going to get that done. For example, you are saying, write this unit test, write this endpoint, fix this bug. So a normal prompt is saying, do this next thing, that's it. But with goals, you are saying, keep doing it until a certain outcome is true. So you are defining some kind of definition of done, and Codex starts writing code until that definition of done is true. Let's say you have a bug. You write a test that is failing, yeah? Some kind of TDD approach. Then you can say, fix this bug until this test is true. This fake Codex is not just assuming that, if I change this part of the code, the bug would be resolved. It's gonna change the code, it's gonna run the test, it's gonna see, okay, the test is still failing. So it's like a loop, and then it will try and try and try until the definition of null is true. So if you have a deterministic, very clear outcome that you want to reach, you can use goal, and it's going to save you lots of headaches and ping pong and going back and forth with Codex. Lastly, let's explore a few other useful commands. One of them is the model command. So by default, Codex is using one of the ChatGPT's models. You can see that here our current one is 5.6 tera. The default is usually 5.6 Sol, but you have the option. You can go through here like 6 options, and you can use whatever model fits your use case better. You can see the descriptions here. Some of them are faster, but some of them are stronger, but a little bit slower. So that's also a very good command that comes handy sometimes, especially if you want to manage costs or rate limiting or whatever. And then if you select it, you can also select the reasoning level. For simple tasks, you can just put the reasoning level to low or to medium. But if you are going to plan mode and you want to tackle a very complex task, I would suggest to put it high. But we are going with the default for now. The other one that is useful is the status command. You can see your usage limit. Like for example, my weekly limit, I still have 93% left. You can see your current session, and then there is also status line command that you can configure what you want to see in the status. For example, I'm gonna say I want to also see the context remaining in this current session. I'm gonna hit enter. If I say status one more time, I can see now my context window, which is already 92% left, which brings us to the next useful command, which is compact. So here you can see my context window is not full yet, but the more that you chat in the current session with Codex, the context would grow and grow. And the bigger the context is, you can see that Codex is not performing well anymore. Then it's a good time for you to clear the whole context. Or if you still need the context, I would suggest to at least compact it. So I'm just gonna run it. I don't need it right now, but I'm just gonna run it to show you. So you run the compact, and it's gonna summarize the whole conversations that we had with the Codex agent. And after a few seconds, you can see the context is compacted. So if I click on the status one more time, you can see that my context window is now untouched, 100% left. But yeah, use it when it's actually growing large. You don't need to compact it here and there when you are talking with Codex. I think we already covered a good amount of topics and some useful commands. So I would stop here. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like it, share it with your friends, and also subscribe for more content like this. See you around.